Welcome back, everyone, to the latest episode of the Zero Chucks Given podcast. And yes, I know I was gone last week, but I have some reasonable excuses why there wasn't an episode last week. My fault. I had a shoot and I had to take my gear, out of town. And then when I brought it back in, I was having major technical difficulties when it came back to setting everything up. Amateur move. I apologize. Well, by the time I got that resolved and recorded one, I was all kind of flustered and I was kind of rushing to try to get it, since it was a few days late, I was trying to rush to get it done. And I just wasn't happy with it, so I was late. I was having issues, and I just wasn't happy with the episode. So I feel like you guys deserve better than that. So I felt like I could wait 1 week, miss a week, and bring you something better, where I'm kind of more composed and everything's working properly. The cameras and everything are working right, instead of like a half-ass piece of entertainment. So everything's back to normal. Everything's going to be kind of back in the flow of things. We're getting back into the routine of things. And I posted something on Instagram about a week ago that has everyone talking. And it's kind of the elephant in the room. So without any hesitation, we're going to jump into the first topic. Like I said, the elephant in the room. I buzzed all my hair off. I might look a little bit different from last episode. If you follow me on Instagram, you've known this. And everyone's been asking me, did I lose a bet? Why did I do it? Are you sick? Mentally or physically? Which made me feel so great, because that means everyone hates it. So besides hating my personality, now everyone hates my hair. Which just makes me feel so great. I feel so great about that. And I wanted to come to you guys directly and kind of give you the reasoning on why I did it. I didn't want you to hear it from like TMZ or the dirt sheets. I wanted you to hear it from me directly. As you saw, my hair was, long and lavish. And that was like a facade. It was almost like a mask in a metaphorical sense. There was so much sin in my hair, I had to chop it off just like Jesus did in the Amazon River. For the people that keep up with Bible stuff. There was so much pain and turmoil and sin in my hair that I had to cleanse myself of those things. So one night, it was about 11 o'clock at night, past my bedtime. I couldn't sleep. So I was like, you know what? It's time. It's time. There was, as a lot of people said, there was no, it was just there. It was long and there. And I finally had to come to grips with that. That me trying to do the long mohawk-ish thing with the buzz sides and then letting it grow in. There was like 5 different lengths and it was a mess. And then, since starting this podcast empire, this studio gets very warm. I'm on the side where the sun is rising and setting, so I'm getting beat by the sun on this side of the place, of the studio. And it gets really warm. You've probably seen me like sweat throughout the first few episodes of the podcast. I've been trying to figure out how to do it. Shoot it later in the day, have some fans going, pulling the warm air out. And nothing was really happening in the sense of making it better. So what I started doing was, all I did was like put my hair up and then put a hat on. So all I was really doing was tucking my hair up into my hat. And then I was like, dude, I have all this sweaty strands in the back, and it's just like, dude, you look like a effing pig. And one thing that I've learned from, my Bible readings, my worship studies, is that sex sells. It's Corinthians something. And sex sells. So how am I going to get the boys and girls lusting over me and wanting to follow me and like and buy my stuff and give their money to me if all they see is this like fat neck with strands of sweaty hair and freaking pores full of sweat? That's not holy of me to do for you guys. It's actually a sin. I'm performing sin by being an effing pig for the podcast. And I just had to I had to reset everything. If I'm going to be on camera every day, I'm going to have to look like $1 million. And one way of doing that was getting rid of it. I didn't feel like waiting for sports clips to open. So I just grabbed the clippers and just ran it through and buzzed it all, man. I got rid of it. I haven't buzzed my head since I was 16. And I felt like it was time. I wanted to do it for COVID, and I didn't. I bitched out or something. I don't know. Let me rephrase it. I don't know why I said I would bitch out. I don't bitch out about anything. I just do it, obviously. But I don't know. I just didn't do it. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go for it. Let's reset. And on top of that, remove the sins that are wearing my body down. And I feel better, man. I'm not saying that like having a buzzed head. I should have been doing this I should have been reciting this whole manifesto of mine with no hat on. But whatever. Where I was getting with this is that I don't feel like any different. I'm not like these people that when they shave their head, like, oh my God, it's just so much easier. I have phantom hair because there's been times I'm like, oh man, it's like pulling or tugging my hair and there's no hair there. So, and then all I really do is just put my hat on. It's just, hey, I'm back to normal. It just looks like I shaved the sides, whatever. But, it's helping me restart, helping me rebuild emotionally, physically, religiously. And I don't know, I'm happy with it, man. It's not my favorite look in the world, but it helps me kind of get through the process of filming these things and not sweating my ass off. Speaking of kind of refining what I'm doing here and trying to make it more streamlined, I wanted to come to you guys about some restructuring of the Zero Chucks Given universe. The Zero Chucks Given ecosystem. When I started this venture, I wanted it to be a podcast. And that's kind of what I had in my head. I kept on, whatever I was doing, I was kind of naming it podcast. So, when we came up with the name Zero Chucks Given, it was the Zero Chucks Given podcast. Or if it was going to be, no Chucks Given or the Chuckacious or the it was always podcast. And one day when I was looking for streaming platforms that would I would upload the file and it would send it to everywhere, Google, Apple, Amazon, Spotify. And I was kind of looking for some streaming software. I went on the About page and they're like, hey, these are other podcasts. I'm getting somewhere with this. And I went on there and it was other podcasts that use our software. And I was like, okay, cool. Maybe those will give me some ideas. And I was scrolling and it just hit me that there is so many podcasts, and there's so many podcasts with like celebrities or like experts in certain fields where it was knitting, it was bike riding, it was wakeboarding, it was reading books, it was cooking, it was just and it just kept on going, and it became white noise. And this was from podcasts that had celebrities or experts on it. So these people that have names and backgrounds and like substantial followings. And I was like, there's all these podcasts, some include celebrities, and it's all just white noise. I looked at some of the, like, I actually clicked and kind of jumped to their pages. Some people don't have like a ton of followers or listeners. And I went to YouTube and I kind of saw them, and I was like, dude, this person who gets paid millions of dollars to be in movies, and they make $100 million, or their movies make hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're getting, 2 million, or they're getting like 2,000 views per like episode, or 1,500, and then I'm seeing interviewers on their podcast, but they're interviewing celebrities or wrestlers or musicians, and they're getting like 750 views, and it's just, and then I just kind of was like, dude, I need to do something that stands out, which is the Zero Chucks Given, me just being myself, which is like kind of like a 1 in a billion personality. So I kind of, start the podcast, and I'm going through the Zero Chucks Given podcast, branding everywhere. Then I'm having friends send me, because I brought this up to a few people that I'm like, dude, there's just so much podcast. But that was like in a celebrity sense, is like, how can I, be different than all of them? So I've told a couple of friends about my issues with how much podcast is out there. And then they send me links. They're like, hey, that person, my neighbor, is starting a podcast. And that person, the wedding photographer, blah, 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 they're starting a podcast. And that person, they're like real estate. And it's all, and now it's like on a local level. Like everybody is doing blah, blah, blah podcast. Blah, blah, blah podcast. And some stuff is sick, and then other things are just... Can you scroll through Instagram and not see somebody with headphones on and a microphone talking about stuff? They're talking about, fitness. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Fitness, gym, whatever. Or somebody with headphones and a microphone talking about motivation. And I'm just like, podcasts aren't cool anymore. When everyone kind of jumps on it, and I guess they're watering it down. And I don't want to be a gatekeeper to the podcast world. And I have my reasonings why I'm not a gatekeeper. This is just my opinion on it. It's because it's becoming so watered down that if everyone has their headphones on and a mic and they're talking about whatever, and they're not like an expert, you can be like a career person or professional and you're giving your opinion, cool. But when you're multiplying that by 1 million and everybody has a podcast, blah, 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 sneaker junk blog podcast, real estate, blah, 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 blah podcast, then it's like, if everyone is the same, we're all, what's different about, everybody? Sorry if I'm kind of rambling about that. Which gets me to my revelation, which I've had people kind of give me some confirmation. What is it? My something bias confirmation. And I had a friend, Samuel Sanders, tell me when I was kind of venting to him, what I'm doing in the Zero Chucks Given ecosystem, the Chuckacious universe, I'm not doing a podcast. I know I titled it a podcast, but it's not a podcast. I don't have like the microphone and the headphones and I'm talking to someone. What I'm doing is like a show. Yeah, like the mic's out of the way. I don't have headphones. I'm not talking with someone. I'm giving you guys world-class entertainment. And it's not, and like I'm not, we're going over topics. And I'm giving the opinions that you don't hear everywhere. I'm giving you the opinions that will probably be illegal in a few years once, you know, the Biden administration and Dr. Fauci and the Clintons, you know, silence everyone. 1984 is happening, people. I'm telling you. When China and the Bidens and the Clintons kill off everyone, it's going to be 1984, everyone. But that's what I'm doing. It's not a podcast. It's a show. And it is come to me that to better the quality of content out there, I need to remove podcast from this show's branding. Because if everyone else is putting out crap work and everyone's mom and neighbor and cousin have a podcast, I don't want to be associated with that because I don't want to be grouped with that. So no more podcast with this universe that's going on. The Chuck Aces expanded universe will not have podcasts in the name. There will be podcast formats like on Spotify and Apple and all that stuff. But in the branding, it's going to be called just Zero Chucks Given. You can see it on YouTube. You can see it on Spotify in a podcast format, audio only. Or you can go on YouTube and watch it as a video. Being a pioneer comes with its tribulations and difficulties. And I've had to make the difficult decisions. The decisions that will make me stand out from everyone else. Part 2 of all this is that when I started it, this was just going to be a, like I guess on the first episode I told you, it's going to be a like 20-minute-ish show. And I was going to go over, you know, trending topics, things that interest me, and give you my unfiltered XXX hardcore version of my opinion on it. Well, I had a curveball thrown at me. The algorithm gods kind of have diverted me in my focus from like the 20-minute once a week thing to shorts. And I'm specifically talking about YouTube because YouTube is eventually where everything's going to funnel into. YouTube will be the hub. So anytime I'm talking about YouTube, not TikTok or Instagram. So I think I did episode 1, 2, and 3. You know, everyone enjoyed it. You know, it was a good starting point to kind of get the name out there, but it wasn't like big numbers. So I was like, oh, you know, YouTube has shorts. So let me chop up one of my like Kanye West clips from episode 1 and upload it. And boom, like it, you know, it wasn't like a million, but it was like out of nowhere off like nothing, just throwing it up at a weird time. It got like 5,000 views in like the first like hour. So I was like, okay, that was a fluke, but you know, cool, right? Then I did like Liver King, or I did something Alex Jones or whatever, and then it's like, you know, 4,000 views. I was like, okay, cool. I'm digging this. Then I posted the Kanye West says, you know, Nazis aren't that bad. Boom, that gets like 8,000. So I'm kind of on this roll of doing shorts And it's a little bit more, 30 seconds to 50 seconds, boom, 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 condensed, very, snappy. And they're getting thousands and thousands and thousands of views, hundreds of likes off this page that I just started at the time, like 2-3 weeks, from nothing, 0 subscribers, 0 videos. And I'm getting notifications like, hey, you passed 10,000 views. A few days later, 5 days later, boom, hey, you passed 20,000 views. I'm like, crap, like the stories are working for me. I guess whatever I'm saying and doing and looking like, the algorithm YouTube gods are enjoying it in a, portrait, short, snappy format. So it got me thinking, okay, if Instagram or YouTube is really enjoying this, I might need to kind of dive all into it. But I can't just give up the Zero Chucks Given, longer format thing. But if I'm using all the topics I was going to talk about on the weekly show, and now I'm doing like daily clips, what am I going to have to talk about when it comes Monday and everyone's watching and expecting me to talk about trending topics if I've already posted them a few days later in a short? So after some deliberation, I realized that the focus is going to be put into the shorts right now, because as of right now, or as of like a few days ago, I haven't posted anything in a few days. We hit 75,000 views in less than a month. So, and that's from the shorts. It's getting the most interactions, likes, traffic, views. That has to be the focus if we're going to get this page going and having it blow up and be something that we want it to be. But I am not going to get rid of what you're watching. What this is going to be, and from the feedback I've gotten from people, they kind of enjoy this more casual, laid back, less structured, where I'm kind of, it's not going to have to be like about every single trending topic, regardless if I'm not interested in it. That's what the shorts are for. The shorts, I can just boom, breaking news. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton got into a fist fight. Here's the video. And boom, the video, and it's done. I'm done. I gave 15 seconds of my life to this video, and I'm in and out. Done. Boom. Thousands of views later, whatever. The longer format is going to be more of a, pretty much what today's episode's been. It's going to be me kind of talking to you, kind of giving you some background on things. Kind of like what's going on in my head a little bit more. If something big pops up, then, we'll talk about it. But I have a feeling that the structure and format of what the weekly show is going to be more casual. I'll talk about like murals I'm doing or projects or the formatting of the show or what's happening to the show, what's happening to me, celebrity, stuff that I have to do. That's what this is going to be. So a little more casual, a little bit unstructured. If you want the kind of quick trending things, follow the shorts. There's going to be shorts 1 to 2 every day. And this is still going to be on every Monday. So I hope everyone's going to be, excited for that. I am. I'm loving all the views. If I get back on track, we're going to hit 100,000 in a month. And that's very good, in my opinion, for a brand new page that's doing consistent content. It's not like, I had one video that hit 1 million, then all my other ones have like 10 views. All the videos are getting, thousands and thousands of views. And it's growing from there. I can tell the algorithm's enjoying it because I'm getting more and more views, more and more likes. So I'm not selling out. but we're going to be kind of focusing on the shorts. And if you're not into that and you kind of just want to hear me talk, just tune in Mondays and listen, just tune into what this is all about. All right, everyone. I appreciate you tuning in. Sorry that I was a week late, but I hope, me kind of giving you a rundown of what's happening, what's been going on, what's going to happen and all that stuff. I hope that was insightful. We didn't really, there wasn't anything to really talk about news-wise. It was all kind of, the World Cup. I'm not a sports channel, so no one's going to look. Politics, Kanye West talked about Nazis 2 weeks ago. I missed it. Go watch the short. But I feel like we're gonna get back to groove. No more technical issues. Just a good old Chuck Acious here. Just chilling out, vibing out, shaved head and all. And man, the end of the year's coming, and I'm excited what's going to happen in the future. And everything that good is gonna happen, you're gonna be a part of, because I'm bringing you along for this ride. So if you would like to stay even more in tuned with me, make sure you subscribe, because Santa's always watching, Daddy's always watching, Daddy Chuck Acious is always watching, that a lot of you guys that are watching aren't subscribed. And that breaks my heart, that you guys come, use me, and then bounce without a subscription. So if you truly love me and appreciate me, you're gonna get me a subscribe. And if you don't, I'm gonna come find you. Not a threat. That's just, I'm just throwing that out there. I appreciate everyone that comments. I appreciate everyone that, watches the shorts and all that stuff. And I guess that's all I have left to give today. So until next time, thank you for watching the Zero Chucks Given podcast. And until next week, everybody, stay blessed. Call your mom or dad and tune in. See you. Mwah.